I believe that song was called Spooky. Good morning, I'm Reverend Lori Sheets. I'm glad that you've chosen to spend part of your Sunday morning with us here at Seaside. Today we have a new member class, so those people who have expressed an interest to become part of our spiritual community. You know, I am so getting the feeling that no one's listening. Murray, are you comfortable? Today, following second service, our new members will have a class where they can learn what it means to be a member of Seaside, and also to learn a little bit more about the way that Seaside works. So we're looking forward to that class happening today. And then next week, November 4th, New Member Sunday, each of the new folks will be joining our church here, second service, and then we'll be at Ciccoloti's Trattoria. Say that with me. Ciccoloti's Trattoria, which is right down the street for our celebration lunch. Stop by the membership table if you have any questions or if you would like to sign up for that. Friday, November 9th, Mark Victor Hansen. Hit it, Marv.
The word God, first two-thirds are G-O, which means go. It means go get the stuff. Gospel, which means the good spell or the God spell, the first two words are G-O, which means go. It means you got to take action. When we wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, we decided to take the action. And we kept taking the action, even though we saw detours, stop signs, walls, bridges, abutments, everything you could want. But we went over, under, around, or through to find our gold mine on the other side. If you read Think and Grow Rich, R.U. Darby was 3 feet from the world's biggest gold mine, and he dropped his shovel and he stopped digging, and there was, I think it was a Gluconda mine. Everybody is that close to succeeding. 90% of people, I'm told, going for an AA degree, an associate art degree at a junior college or the like, are 2 hours, 2 credits, 2 units from graduating with an AA. 90% of the people that before they finish their BA stop 3 hours short. People are so close and they don't just finish. Decide that you're a finisher. You're a starter, but you're a finisher. And some people say, well, what if it takes too long?
Mark Victor Hansen has always had a very powerful message in this self-help movement. I invite you, Friday, November 9th here, it's $10. So bring your friends, make an evening out of it. It really is a treat. We have a bereavement support group that is starting this week. 4:30 on, I believe it's Thursdays. You'll have to check at the membership table. Our own Michelle Tiernan is coordinating that. So this time of year, that would be Ramon. He is making himself known. Also have a drumming circle Sunday, November 11th. And I have a couple questions for you. Where can you find a jumpy, complimentary, scrumptious food and a place to bob for apples all in one place? The answer is Seaside Garden on Sunday, November 18th. It's our Harvest Festival. Please mark your calendars. There's more information to come. Have you been enjoying the Everything Abundant Now lecture series?
Yes.
Good. I'm so glad. So that means that you need to come this week. I'm speaking on the money keys, and it will be equally enlightening for you. So please be there. And now I'd like to call up Sandy Atkins with an announcement for us. Sandy has served with working on our shelter for a few years, and I'd like to have her give an update.
Thank you.
It's been more like 10. And Sonny and Mike, Sonny, raise your hand back there with the liaison, and Mike have been doing this with me for the last 10 years. And it is the most wonderful giving ministry that I think Seaside has, one of them at least. How many of you are familiar with the Interfaith Shelter, the way we run it here? Great, yeah. We have the opportunity to help people that are recently homeless that are screened by the Community Resource Center. There's no drug or alcohol problems. These are just lovely folks that have hit some tough times. And we have 14 people that we help house, feed, and you all can be part of this. And you can do as much as spend an evening with us and be a host, or you can make a dinner and bring that, or you can bring a loaf of bread or a bottle of juice and things like that. We have a sign-up sheet in the back family room, and please come up, find out more about it, and it will probably be the best Thanksgiving gift you can give yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Good morning. Let's all stand. We're going to get it going this morning by singing. This morning we're singing, whoa, ho, ho, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is.
All right. Whoa,
Yeah,
the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. Scripture told me that I had to be good. But now I love cause I want to. I love cause I am free. I'm blinded by the Spirit. The Spirit of God is upon me. Yes it is. Whoa, that's right. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa, the Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. I don't need any prodding. I don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. I let go of my burden. Loving God has made me free. I'm blinded by the Spirit. The Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. All right. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. Somewhere I believe that loving God would be hard. That loving God is a wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. Thank God for my freedom. Let me tell you that the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa.
Yes, it is.
Well, good morning, Seaside. Spirit of God is upon me. It is upon this house. It is upon all of us, and it feels so good. Welcome to Seaside, a spiritual nexus inspiring people to live their divinity and to live their dream. Truly, you are welcome here. Wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know that there is a place for you here. It is an affirming, inclusive spiritual community that is happy to embrace you and say, bless you for being here today and sharing your presence. And today we are in for some wonderful fun, spiritual excitement. We get to welcome one of our newest members into our community with a christening in a little bit. But what I'd like to do right now is invite Reverend Catherine Economo.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a great day at Seaside already. Thank you, Reverend Fran. She's on fire today. It's a wonderful day. Thank you. And so I'm going to invite you to join with me in reading our purpose statement here on our screen. I know in a moment it will appear. There we go. So please join with me in reading this together. Seaside Center for Spiritual Living is a loving, supportive, inclusive family community which inspires all to experience their spiritual unfoldment, healing, and growth through the teachings of the science of mind. Through knowing all, in all, as all. I'm sure it's coming back. Yay! Through the principles of the science of mind. We were close. Okay. Our spiritual family gratefully celebrates the abundance of life and honors each individual's unity with God. Our joy is to express spirit through service, making a difference in the lives of all those we touch. And so as we come together in this day, we will begin centering into that divine presence of spirit, and I'm going to invite Master Practitioner Candace Young-Schultz forth to do that for us.
I invite you to close your eyes and settle into the silence, the stillness. As the crystal bowl reverberates in the stillness, so too does spirit reverberate in through as all things, in through as each and every one of us here. And I know that spirit is present this glorious day at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, where we celebrate each person, each person's journey, each person's healing, as we come together in healing, in joy, in community, and in celebration. And I am so grateful for all who have created this service, all who come together to be present, for without each person here, this service would not be complete. And I know that this morning, each of us hears something that is just meant for us, just meant as an opening, as an expansiveness, as an avenue of receptivity. And so it is.
It's in the giving that I receive. It's in the trusting that I am free. It's in forgiving I release. It's in the loving that I am me. In recognizing we have begun, in unifying we all are one, in declaring we have become, in giving thanks, Lord, the work is done, is done.
Beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Fran. Thank you, Candace Schultz. Thank you, Reverend Catherine. It's in this beautiful space that we get to do something that is very special, that is part of being spiritual community and spiritual family. And that is to welcome a new child into this world. And in particular, this particular child has made its way through the arms of half the people in this sanctuary. He has been held by so many individuals, has had so many different babysitters, and you never know who's loving on him. But today, all of us have the opportunity to love on him in this christening. And so, Ramon, you want to bring your mom and dad, Sharon and David, on up to the stage, and your grandparents, Ellen and Marvin, and your godparents, Dr. Alice Bandy and Darren, and just know that there's a lot more than just these that are coming to stage that Sharon wanted to acknowledge. So I told you this kid is surrounded in love. Who else would you like to acknowledge that?
There's some people that really helped us bring Ramoni into our lives, and I just wanted to acknowledge them. So Martha Kahn, you want to stand? Linda Light, Jennifer Legere, Kate Moon, Reverend Rick Mars, Candace Young Schultz, Kelly Sorensen, Elaine and Marv Goldsmith, Sunny and Mike Florio, and Susie Sherry. Where are you, Susie? Thank you.
All right. Well, I got to tell you what, Ramon, you are a blessed child because you grew in your mom and dad's hearts for so long that you could not have had but a wide opening of light and welcoming as you entered into this world. And you're styling in your little white tux. Oh my goodness, you're gorgeous. Now, baptism, it is a symbolic expression, christening, welcoming the Christ presence into this world. It is an ancient practice that goes back to the earliest times in recorded history, and I think what the Essenes did in welcoming a child into this world was very special, and somehow it got changed to thinking you get water to purify an expression that has come in of its sin. And as I look at Ramon, there is nothing sinful about this old soul. I look into the Christ presence, and my heart is warmed up with joy. For truly the seed of perfection is in this child, just waiting to be acknowledged and recognized, called forth into expression. And so today, this christening, this naming, this welcoming, this proclaiming of this Christ presence as he walks through this world allows us all to open our hearts and to open our arms to this bold expression of life. And it's important for him to know that this baptism is symbolic of that which has taken place on the spiritual realm and dimension, but it's also symbolic of his immersion into the wonderful life stream, the God stream of life, and that is, he walks, he continues to be immersed ever in the loving arms of God, in the divine embrace. And it's important for you as family and the godparents to also know that you're immersed in it, and that the time with Ramon is so precious because, as you shared with me, Gahil Gibran's poem, that you guys are the bows in which you're sending this arrow into the future, into a place that you'll never be able to go. but you have got to trust that you have been equipped, and you equip this young one with everything that is necessary for him to walk into the future. So enjoy your time. It's precious time. Laugh with him and love with him. And I know Reverend Tammy has thought deeply about the charge to all of you. So Reverend Tammy.
So I have the honor of giving you the charge as parents, as godparents, as grandparents of this beautiful child. As Reverend Christian said, a christening is a public ceremony for acknowledging and recognizing the Christ presence within this beautiful child. And it is a public commitment and charge for those that will shepherd this child through life to his greatest expression, David and Sharon. As the parents of Ramon, Marvin, De Leon, it is my privilege to give you the charge. And that is for you to come into the spiritual realization that you are here to shepherd Ramon, into the discovery of who and what he truly is, so that he may live his life to the fullest potential. In other words, God recreated himself and called him Raymond Marvin De Leon. So already infused in this beautiful child is a beautiful destiny. Divine intelligence, along with Ramon, chose to be here and chose to use you as a vehicle in this human incarnation, and you chose to have him in your life. So the choice was made. And in that choice, there is a purpose and there is a conviction and a right and a reason to be here, already encoded in his consciousness. Already within his consciousness are the areas in which he will excel. All of this is already within him. So your job as parents is to live your life with such alignment with the principles of God within your own hearts that you create an environment of divine peace and unconditional love where he gets to continue to choose to be all that he is. You are to be reminded that children never do or listen to what you say. They listen and respond to what you are. And so as you are providing an atmosphere of divine love by being the highest and the best that you can be, then he gets to constantly re-echo that excellent based on your lifestyles and what you are creating for him. It is never about manipulating the baby to try to make him do or be what you want. It is always about ourselves growing and becoming in consciousness what we would like the baby to become. It starts with us, and he lets you know. It is in your heart where you are living and at the highest impact on him. So when I say that this baby is from God, I am indicating that the life principle created in its own image and likeness with a divine purpose, and your purpose is to assist him. And then to set him free. And then he will grow and develop and unfold into his greatest. He loves the freedom part, doesn't he? Let me go. So that is your charge as parents. Do you accept this charge? And as godparents, we have Darren and Reverend Alice. Do you accept this charge also? And as grandparents, do you accept this charge? And as a congregation and friends and family, we all are here. Do you promise to be here for him whenever he may need you and to guide and lead him? Yes. And so it is done.
And so we'll take these roses. And sometimes I'm running around for roses, and there are two gifts today. One is a purple bud that Callie brought this morning. The other is the Ernest Holmes rose that Jonathan grew for Ramon. And the bud is beauty in itself, but yet it is blossoming and unfurling into even greater beauty. And what we know about this divine expression is that I'm just in awe for what he is and just great respect for that which he is about to come. And so what name shall be given to your son? I'll take this water and christen you, baptize you, and welcome you as Ramon Marvin De Leon to this world. And know that your path in this world is blessed and rich, and you know how to melt hearts. And so I share this prayer. I'll give this to you. I'll give this to you. And all of us, we just open our hearts with a gratitude for having witnessed this beautiful expression, this arrival of Ramon Marva de Leon to this world. And know that his walk upon this world is blessed and that he is in touch with his divine purpose and his soul agreement. For truly he is able to find the strength to be that which he is come here to be. And I know right now that the ancestors are blessing him in this moment and welcoming him into this world. Just as the loving arms of his parents, his godparents, his grandparents, his friends, and his spiritual family welcome him and embrace him, he will walk this world continuously knowing the divine embrace and be all that he is here to be. Grateful to stand witness to this monumental moment in Ramon's life. We go forth in joy for having been blessed in this time. And so it is. Amen. Good job, Ramon. Absolutely.
What a powerful, powerful demonstration of love. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh my goodness. Well, normally this is the slot where we get to introduce our guest artists, and I'm very sad because they called in sick. But I'm not really that sad. We're not really that sad, because when someone calls in sick, we get Reverend Fran. And I get to introduce her today, and I'm so excited about that. Reverend Fran's been with us for 7 years as our artistic director at Seaside. She has completely overhauled our music department. We have a fabulous choir at her directorship. We've actually got an arts department. She's done amazing, wonderful concerts and presentations for us, and she's one of the best singers we know. She's our walking miracle, and it's my honor to introduce to you Reverend Fran. Let's go to Chris.
Isn't it funny how things work out? But you know what happened? I woke up this morning. I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty fine. And yesterday I wasn't feeling too good because Nathan called and said he had laryngitis. And I said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I said, do I want to spend all Saturday calling people? And I said, no, no, no. No, no, no. No. We're going to do a little different. 1, 2, 3. I woke up this morning singing.
Let's help her out.
Yeah, I woke up this morning singing.
God is so good.
And I woke up this morning singing.
God is so good.
You know,
my God is so good to me. That's your part.
All right, Melanie. Now, if I'm going to get through this song, you got to help me out. I'm so sorry. All right. Oh, in my times of meditation, God is so good. In my times of meditation, God is so good. In my times of meditation, God is so good. You know, my God is so good to me. When I'm feeling down and lonely,
God is so good.
Oh, when I'm feeling down and lonely,
God is so good.
When I'm feeling down and lonely,
God is so good.
You know, my God is so good to me. When I'm looking in Ramon's eyes,
God is so good.
When I'm looking into Ramon's eyes,
God is so good.
When I'm looking into Ramon's eyes,
God is so good.
You know, my God is so good to me. Now to the bridge. Every day and every way,
God is so good.
Oh, every day and every way,
God is so good.
When I take the time to praise the Spirit,
God is so good.
Hello, my God. Take a solo over there. Let's of y'all take one. Woo, what do you think? In my times of sorrow singing,
God is so good.
oh, in my times of sorrow singing,
God is so good.
oh, in my times of sorrow singing,
God's so good.
my God is so good to me. In my times of joy singing,
God is so good.
in my times of joy singing,
God is so good.
I love you, Carl, more than you'll ever. God is so good.
My God is so good to me.
Yeah, I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. Everybody, I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. God is so good. My God is. Watch me. My God is. My God is. My God is. My God is so very good to me. My God is so good.
And that is our Reverend Fran Lacosta Christ. Oh my goodness, God is so good. Love this. Woo, I get to hug all the pretty ones, that's for sure. All right, Reverend Fran and Carl, my goodness, great job. Told Reverend Fran when anybody cancels, she's my #1 choice. And you can see why. Over the top. How fabulous. Oh my goodness. We are in the midst of a prosperity series here. So is your world prospering? Good, because if it wasn't, I'd say, tune into our podcast. You can get caught up and open up those floodgates. I mean, the first week I spoke about your self-worth. I mean, you've got to have that self-worth thing down so you can be receptive to the greater good. Then last week we spoke about giving. And people say, how can you talk about giving before receiving? But you know what? You got to give before you receive. You got to prime the pump, which makes today the perfect time to talk about being receptive. We're talking about receptivity to the wonderful flow of Spirit because our God is so good. Do you believe that? Yes. Boy, you were singing a lot louder than that. Do you really believe your God is good? Yes. Good. That's what you need to be receptive to. When you know your God is good, when you know that wealth is there, that joy is there, that health is there, that love is there, that relationship is there, you begin to manifest it in your life. You have to be receptive to God's good to show up. And so those wild dreams of goodness that stir your soul, I want to tell you something. You don't create them. They grab you. Those wild dreams, you don't get to choose. They are choosing you. They are grabbing hold of you and stirring your soul. And I want you also to be aware that anytime a dream comes like that to you and your heart and soul starts stirring, it comes with the ways and the means to bring it about. But you have to be receptive. You can't keep trying to do it the way you've done it and work it within the old system and last year's way of doing it. You've got to be willing to expand and open up to the greater good. Be receptive. Okay, God, I am now available because I'll tell you what, you made some kind of soul agreement or soul covenant, or you had some soul assignment in the other dimensions before you slid into this world that you said, yes, count me in, I'm good for this. And I'm going to be receptive and remember that to bring it forth into expression. And the pangs and the pains and the aches of your soul come when you're not living the blessings of that fulfillment. When you are not living that God expression that you agreed to do here, there's some kind of dissatisfaction, discontentment that's going on inside of your being. You want more because you are more. God, touch your heart and just say, I am more. I am more of God's expression. And when you know that, you begin to step forth into a life with an assurance, with a depth and a conviction, and know that if I have faith to follow this path, what I'm going to find is reasons on this path to have the faith. Hey, Ramon is a preacher. So as you begin to have faith to take this path, you're going to have reasons on this path to give you the faith. And I want you to be aware that when you begin to follow this path, when you begin to follow that wild dream of your soul that has chosen you, you're going to begin to open the portals to a life that is more fulfilling. The reason you have these wild dreams is because it is the portal to a joyous way of living, an expressive way of living, a fulfilled way of living in your life and in your world. As you begin to say yes to Spirit, Spirit says yes to you, and you become that place in which you are able to step forth in a way that is creating. You're living in the lucid dream state where you are creating and bringing forth the expression of God that is unfolding in ways that are grander and far beyond you, like that rose that is blossoming, that is beautiful now. It becomes more beautiful as you say yes to the wild dreams of your soul and your spirit. Listen to that stirring that is going on inside of you. And when you are in that place of the discontent, and it's not working, it's not time to stay there. Over the years, I've listened to so many distasteful experiences people have remained in. And it's like, why? They say, well, I just don't want to rock the boat. And it's like, if the boat is sinking, don't you want to get out of it? Yeah. You know, if something's not feeling right, it's because there's something that isn't right there. There is something that needs to be known there. It is your soul, it is your spirit that's kind of knocking. Hey, pay attention here, because drowning in discontent is not the way to go in life. Complacency, that's what that is. I'm just waiting for things to change. They're not going to change on their own. You've got to create space. You've got to become receptive for the greater yet to be that wants to show up in your life and in your world. Walt Whitman said, dismiss anything that is an insult to your soul. Dismiss anything that is an insult to your soul. So that's a very clear way to go. If there's something that's insulting your soul, your spirit, it doesn't feel right, it's discontent, it is pain. Yes, there is something that needs to be known. Yes, there is something that needs to be done. Yes, there's something that needs to be released. But you know what? It is calling you to a greater vision, to a greater possibility. There is that bud that is aching to express itself and to open up. It is that wild dream that is asking you to step through the porthole to a more joyous kind of living. Are you going to say yes to that? Yes. Good. I'm glad. Then we're in the right place. Now we can really start to talk here. Because, I watch too many people have that something in their world and that's not right, and they focus in on that. And Ernest Holmes talks about the outside is changed by changing the inside. The outside is an out-picturing of what is going on the inside. Change your thinking, change your life is what Ernest said. Hermes said, as within, so without. You know, form follows consciousness. Law of attraction, Ernest has a whole chapter in his book, The Science of Mind. You know, this theory isn't new, but it has to be practiced within our life. And we get caught up thinking that what's going on in the world is what's real. You know, it's as if, here we go, good analogy. I used it on the Thursday night prosperity lecture. And this Thursday, it's free prosperity lecture. Reverend Laurie will be sharing. But the analogy I used, I like, so I'm going to use it with you again for those that didn't hear it. And as if you're typing on the computer, writing a letter, great letter, wow. Hit print, out it comes, you read it. Oh, I got a mistake there, misspelling. I get out an eraser and I erase that thing. And then I hit print again. Out it comes. Oh, it's still there. So I get a bigger eraser, you know, and I really give it the good erase job. I hit print, and out. How can that be? It's still there. So I go out and buy, you know, a 300-page book on effective erasing for dummies and a whole case of erasers. I know all the effective ways to erase. I hit print, and out it comes again. But that's what we do when we're trying to change the outside world in our life, thinking it is them, it is the situation. That is not the way that works. It's got to come from the inside out. And I want you to recognize that what's going on in your life is never the cause. So I have people say, well, I'd do this if I had more money, but I've got lack of money going on here. The lack of money is never, ever, ever the reason. It is a symptom. Your health or lack of health, it is a symptom. Your wealth, it is a symptom. Your weight, it is a symptom. Your relationship, it is the outpicturing of that which is going on inside of your heart and soul. So you get to take a look at it and say, okay, what am I going to do with this? What a lot of people will do, not you guys, but the ones that aren't sitting here, they'll blame, they'll blame someone, or they'll justify themselves. They'll justify by saying, oh, money's just not that important to me. Well, I'll tell you, it's because they're broke that they're willing to say that. But I'll tell you what, if you told your spouse or your partner they weren't that important, boom, they're gone. They're not going to stick around, would they? Would you? Wow, there's only a few of you would. If somebody told me I wasn't that important, I'd be gone. And that's what your finances will do. It's not, well, Chris, I don't mean it's not that important. It's just that love is more important than money. Yeah, I would clap you because that's one of the lamest excuses I've ever heard. It's like comparing what's more important, your leg or your arm, Maybe they're both valuable here, And money is extremely important where money works. And money is extremely not important where it works. And there are appropriate places for both. And though love makes the world go round, is what we heard. And I got to tell you, Seaside is based on love, caring, compassion, kindness, being there for one another. But at the end of the month, when we pay Wells Fargo and say, have a little love, they'll go, It's important to get those dynamics handled in your life. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, when your SDG&E bill comes around, go down to their office and go to the counter and say, I'd like to pay this bill with love this month. They'll think you just got released from a loony bin or something. What I want us to understand is we're operating in a world where there is this energetic exchange called money. It's not good, it's not bad, it is just an energetic exchange. You got to get it handled, because if you don't have it handled, it's not important to me, so I don't have it. Then your thinking and your mind is captivated, and it is the law of attraction. It is the law of mental equivalence. So, I don't have it, I got to work on it. My mind is now filled with this challenge, with this stress, with this constraint. What you want to be receptive to is that dream, is that wild dream of your soul, that soul assignment, that soul covenant that you made before you got here. And if you're caught up with trying to heal your money dynamics, you are not open and receptive. And money seems to be one of those dynamics that get most people. I'll tell you what, you take a look at successful individuals, masterful manifestors, and they will tell you that they believe that they create their life. And those that struggle will tell you life happens to them. Interesting difference there. Those that are creating their good go out and create it. Those that are in the struggle have a plan, primary strategy, win the lottery. It's like the masterful manifestors, their primary strategy is not winning the lotto. It is being a vortex for that expression of God. It's bringing forth those wild dreams that lead them to the portal of a joy-filled kind of life, a life that is dynamic. They are receptive to a greater good of spirit that is seeking to express itself, and they're willing to form new habits, willing to be new in a new kind of way, willing to move beyond what last year's limitations were, whether it was financial or whether it was thinking. They're willing to say, you know what, I trust this, because the more I go down this path with faith, I have more reason to have faith in this path. Because what happens is this soul desire, this wild wish, this wild dream will lead you to you. So, if you're in the habit of not doing something, I want you to realize that that is a habit. And to break the habit of not doing, you got to do something, so you get in the habit of doing something. This is your new habit. I mean, there's basically two habits, doing or not doing. If you're not doing and you want to do it, then you got to do it. You can't just think about doing that. You got to take that action. If all of a sudden, people around you are thinking, wow, what are you on these days? What's making you go wild for those dreams and begin to believe? What you come to realize, there are people around you that may not be of the same ilk of consciousness or the vibrational frequency of success and abundance and infinite creation that you are made of. You are spirit seeking to express itself in this life, in this time. Are you able to see that and know that? Because you are attracting into your world. There was a not survey, but a study done of people who tend to earn, the study showed that people earn about 20% one way or the other of their closest friends. That tends to be the environment. They're hanging around people of like mind. You ever been around a complainer? Oh man, they always have something to complain about. It is amazing. How can you find something else that is wrong? Why do you need to have more drama in your world? Didn't you have enough for all of us 5 years ago? But that is what happens. So you got to rid yourself of those complainers because they're going to pull you down. They are infectious. People will either affect you or infect you. If you knew somebody had a contagious disease of measles, you wouldn't go hug them, would you? Probably not. Well, I want you to know that I think this complaining, this blaming, this justification is contagious. And really, this negative thinking is the measles of the mind. You know, instead of itching, they're bitching. You know, it's just an outpicturing in a new kind of way. But those individuals that are receptive to the greater good in their life, that are open to new ideas and new paths, they're willing to break down the old models, they're willing to allow whatever to hit the fan to go all over and know that they have what it takes to create a new kind of experience in their life. They're not trying to hold it together and go, oh no, they know that if they lost it, they created it once, they'll create it again. This is what they are receptive to. And when the world contracts, it is not time to freak out and say, okay, it's time to have that wild vision call me to the next portal of my greater expression. I am that vortex that brings forth the infinite possibilities from the unmanifested realm into this realm of form. I get to be that doorway, that avenue in which it takes form, and I'm going to know that there's something else that is there that is possible. I'm not going to get caught up in focusing in on the complainers, focusing in on what didn't work, focusing in on whatever is sad, painful, or I'm not going to. It's just not the way of creation. There's something else that's different. You ask a little kid, is this glass of water half full or half empty? That little kid's going to take that glass of water and say, hey, you want me to fill it up? It's just they think differently. I don't care if it's half full or empty. I'm going to fill it up and have a full glass here. Are you willing to think differently and get in the game with what it is you have? Because what happens so often is people are sitting on the sidelines preparing. A year goes by. I'm preparing. That opportunity goes by. Now I'm preparing. It's called stalling, guys. You got to get into the game. Those that are able to receive greater good in their life are in the game. They don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but they trust, they have faith in the path that they're on will give them reasons to have faith. They will have faith that they have what it takes to create in a new way in their world. And when stuff does hit the fan, they know that they have what it takes to move through this time because they are receptive to something greater than what is out there in the world. They're not trying to erase the paper and change what is out there. There's something inside of them that knows they are greater than whatever this world can throw at them because they are greater than this world, because they are spirit expressing. Marianne Williamson said, it's not arrogant to think that you're infinitely creative, that you're brilliant, that you have the potential of perfection through the grace of God. The potential of perfection through the grace of God, as the grace of God. That's the truth of who you are. Is the perfection of God wants to show up as your life. It's not like I'm going to try to get God, but God is expressing here as this moment, as this time. It's not as if God brought us all together. God is appearing as us in this collective family consciousness that loves, that is inclusive, that supports one another in times of joy and times of sorrow. Am I willing to be that place that knows that God isn't only going to supply me with whatever it is I need, but God is the supply that's showing up in my life? When I sit down for a meal, I say grace. I always say grace. Sometimes it's very brief, but I not only say, thank you, God, for this food, I am thankful that God is appearing as this food in my life. Spirit is appearing as my life here and now. In Elijah, the 43rd chapter, it said, you are a witness to God, or you are witnesses to God. It's basically saying you are a witness to God. Where are you witnessing God? Where are you seeing that presence showing up in your life? It says, be a beholder. It says, be a beholder of that presence of God. You know, it's like, where's God showing up today? There's not a morning I don't get out of bed where I'm excited about how's God going to appear as my life today. The song today, I woke up this morning saying, God is so good. Hey. Yeah, that's why they won't let me in the choir. Fran is so good to you. But, you know, I'm always looking over my shoulder. God, man, where are you? What you going to do? All right. God is appearing as my life. That is how Spirit shows up. It appears as your life in the moment in ways that are greater than you could have figured out. If you're trying to figure it out, you got to realize you can't figure out everything that's going to happen in the game. You got to get in that game. You can only see around the next bend. You know, the football, the Chargers got to be in the game so they can get that fumble in the last minute and just barely save themselves from defeat again. But you got to be in the game. You can't be sitting on the sideline. You got to be in the game so you see the opportunities and you feel that wild dream urging you forward. You say, yes, yes, yes. You're looking. Oh, there's God. There's my portal. It's there for you in ways that are beyond comprehension. Now, it's the end of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a story came to mind of when my mom, she had breast cancer. This was a long time ago. And had other complications. It was quite significant, the surgery that she had to undergo. And all surgeries are. And I remember I was going up there. It was, I don't know, probably 20 years ago. And I'm thinking, and I'm running a little late. I hope I get there because my mom, you know, she's going in. She's always told me how important I am to her. I'm the most important thing in her world, and I'm just thinking the last thing she wants to see is my face. You know, I want to give her that kiss on the forehead and just say, I know it's in God's hands. And I get there, I'm going through the corridors of a hospital. I'm good at that, and that's what I do for a living. I go through corridors of hospitals, and I make my way there. I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to say? You know, the first word. What's going to be my first line that will make this profound impact? The prayer that I'm going to share with my mom. And as I turn the corner, I just stop. Because outside of the surgery room, she's on the gurney, lying down, you know, waiting to go in, and my dad is standing there with her. And he's just standing over her, and it's just man and woman. It's like they're in this visible bubble. There is nothing else going on in the world around them. And he's just holding her hand. And she's looking up with a smile on her face and a twinkle in her eyes. And it's like they're communicating in a way that, you know, a 30-year-old just doesn't understand. There is a language, I swear they were speaking, I just didn't get it, but I saw it. I could feel it. I could sense it. And what I knew is God was so good in that moment in a way that was perfect for my mom. Not how I thought I was going to save her, but there was so much more. And when you're that place for God to appear as that which is necessary, to be able to give space and know that there is a love that is only a result of decades of togetherness, of lifetimes of togetherness. God is so good. And when you are receptive, the magic happens. The good happens. The abundance flows. The heart is transformed. Life becomes richer in every way that is real and right and relevant to you. God bless you in your divine manifestation. Hey, let's keep it going to bring Reverend Fran back.
Okay. All right. Inspiring. A lot of people have been giving testimonies this last few weeks, and I just want to say thank you again for Dr. Christian. Your messages inspire Carl and me to greater heights and greater health. couldn't have done it without you. Dressed preacher, plain clothes, self-taught teacher, the world more confusing to him than to you. He's not well read and perhaps not well bred, but he said something once, I believe it was true. Live and let live, love and be loved. Oh, give and it shall be given. If you seek, then you will find. Open the door to your heart and open it wide. Someone is standing outside. Diplomat and statesman and learned debatesman, if you don't throw the book away, they'll throw it at you. Come on, butchers and bakers and revolution makers, if there's one thing long written and it might still be true, let live, love and be loved. Give and it shall be given. If you seek, then you will find. Open the door to your heart. Standing outside. Is standing, is standing. Why don't you open your heart and let someone stand down? Standing out and open your heart. Is standing, simply standing outside.
Hey, that's Reverend Fran, our very own. Whew, that's beautiful. We gotta get you to sing more, Fran. I like that. Listen to that. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness. We have an opportunity to be that place through which Spirit flows in its expression. It allows us to be that activity of God that reciprocates back into our life at the level in which we are being. And so you get to decide what you've cast out upon the waters. And so I invite you to listen to your heart. See how much you have been touched and the joy that you have felt and the laughter and the song. And give from the fullness. And what you will find is a new level of the fullness coming forth into your life. We welcomed a new child into this world today. We celebrated, we sang, we stood, we woke up this morning beholding the presence of God. And so behold that and share from that and know that you cannot outgive Spirit. And as you give, it comes back. It's not why you give, but that is how it works. And so I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time, wherever you may be out here today. Denise, that's pretty fun. Somebody's having a good time today. And Tim, look at... if your live streaming audience could see Caesar now, they would be very joyous. So, hey, thank you guys. Thank you to those that mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday, and those that choose to remember us with the auto tie at that regular systematic support from your world into supporting Seaside's activities. And thank you to our home audience. I appreciate you. I share this prayer of appreciation and gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that truly this is a blessed moment where that affluent flow of Spirit has its way, that each and every one of us becomes that vortex of that abundant expression of God. For we are moving and living and being in this infinite sea of infinite potential, this inexhaustible reservoir that is knocking and stirring on our hearts and our souls with these wild dreams and visions of the greater yet to be. And as each of us says yes to allowing that to move through us, we send forth this seed into this world. That which has blessed us will continue to ripple out, bringing blessings to all those whom it comes in contact. I just say thank you. It's with this sense of gratitude and appreciation for Spirit appearing as the blessings and the wealth in the individual life that we send forth, knowing that this God presence continues to move through the world, bringing that light and that grace and that ease and that security and that peace to all that it comes in contact. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is. Amen. And together let us say our affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Again, let's say that. Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now.
1, 2. Yes, it's that time again for Seaside's favorite spiritual. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For the monster from my slab did arise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
They did the mash.
he did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
He caught on in a flash.
The monster mash.
He did the monster mash.
Wow.
From my laboratory in the castle east
Wow.
to the master bedroom where the vampires feast.
Wow.
Ah, ghouls came from the humble abode to take a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
The monster mash.
They did the monster mash. The practitioners were having fun. The party had just begun. Got included Russian Christian, Lonnie and Tammy too. And I even saw Kathleen E. Carter. The scene was rocking, old digging the band.
Wow.
Igor and Jane were there, all coming into town.
Wow.
Oh, well, I messed that up, but we'll do it again.
Wow.
There was the cricket fire.
It's now the mash.
Oh, they did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
The monster mash. Yes, now the man.
Out from his coffin, Drax's voice did ring.
Wow.
Seems he was troubled by just one thing.
Wow.
He opened the lid and shook his fist and said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
It's now the mash.
It came on in a flash.
The Monster Mash.
It was the Monster Mash.
They did the mash.
Mash good, master.
The Monster Mash.
Oh, Igor, you impetuous boy.
They did the mash.
To the mash, to the mash.
Let's do the mash.
Let's do the Monster Mash.
They did the mash.
Because I'm very macho. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Tom Bishop. Woo. Making the Monster Mash into a spiritual song. Only at Seaside can we do that. Hey, Tom, you know who the best dancer at the Monster Mash was?
Do I know what?
Who the best dancer at the Monster Mash? The Boogeyman. Pat there on the drums, Tracy on the Busendorfer, Bob on the saxophone, and Reverend Fran, you were fabulous, wonderful, and terrific. Very own Reverend Fran, thank you. Reverend Catherine, what a blessing to share a morning with you. Melanie in the back, bless you. Marv giving us the visuals. Nice job, guys. And know that there's CDs available right after the service. And hey, if anybody's here for the first time, I want you to know we have this much fun every week. And so on the way out, we have a wonderful gift packet for you. Pick one up, and we'd love for you to have what's in there. You can get a free book of mine at the bookstore, so pick that up. There's a lot that goes on at Seaside, like new member Sundays. Next Sunday, if you've been thinking about joining Seaside, having a new member class today, fill out that application that's in your Sunday program. Put it in my pocket on the way out. We'll call you, and we're taking you out to lunch. Next Sunday is our new member Sunday. Also, Sandy Atkinson has told me that we are starting sign-ups for our holiday shelter project, which creates some beds and housing for some of the homeless of North County of San Diego. It's a rotational thing, so that's going on. We got cases of books from Mark Victor Hansen. He has instructed me that I can give all of you one of his books next week. So come, we'd love to give that to you. He is going to be speaking here November 9th. He is fabulous. We put the price real low, so everybody will be there. So where are you going to be November 9th? Oh, I love that. That's a good sign. So, lots going on. Guys, anybody want to say anything from our youth program? Yes.
So, Max, Bob, and I, we made candles out of clay.
Oh, nice. Very nice. He's a master potter, so he'll probably fire that for you. So, all right, well, I'll tell you what. The last Sunday of the month is our prayer wall Sunday, where all of our religious science practitioners come forward. But before they do that, I just thought one more thing, very important. This last week was the ministers' convocation. Once a year, all the ministers get together. There are about 700 licensed ministers, and they pick an award every year to someone to receive the Global Heart Award. It's quite prestigious. I want you to know that the one that they chose to receive it this year was none other than our very own Dr. Christina Tillotson for the wonderful work that she has been doing around the globe. Congratulations, Dr. Christina. More than a decade ago, she lifted us up into the technological age, and she has students around the globe, literally. So, but now, practitioners, come on forward. We're going to do our prayer wall. I'll pray. We'll sing ourselves out of here, and then afterwards, come on up and receive a personal prayer. Let them know what you would like to have that adjustment in your world, what is sinking, and they will pray, and they will help you to know the truth. But right now, I know this truth of God's presence is that which I am, that is Spirit appearing as me in this moment. It is not arrogance. It is the realization of the grace of that Spirit that moves in this moment, and I become that mouthpiece. I am Spirit expressing, and I know right now from this divine vibration, this frequency of being, that revelation of the wholeness of this moment absolutely is so. That each and every one that is present here today becomes that place where Spirit touches down in ever greater increasing kinds of ways of good. For truly that infinite presence has its way because each of us becomes more receptive. I stand as a beholder and a witness to the shift that takes place in consciousness becoming more receptive to the divine impress, that first breath, first cause, first word of Spirit having its way on fertile field of this moment. For the consciousness that is here is emerging. For this spiritual community is growing, it is dynamic, it is alive, it is prospering, it is exciting. Healing is going on. Prayer requests are being answered. Practitioners are speaking the words of truth. Children are learning the way. The adults are beginning to grasp concepts at new level. Intimacy is beginning to be known and relationship abundance is flowing. For this is the natural state of being, and each of us is receptive, I know, to the greater good of God in this moment. And I need not tell that infinite intelligence what to do. I become a beholder. And behold, that I woke up this day and say, God is good. I'm looking everywhere and seeing that confirmation as my life. Spirit as. Thankful, grateful, and appreciative to be living in such a blessed world. I let go. We trust. As in this trust, there is more evidence to substantiate the deepening of faith and conviction. God is my life. I see as Spirit sees. I know as God knows. Healing happens in all the perfect, right, and relevant ways in each of our world. For this is the truth, and so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I did not know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged and trying to make it through just one more day, you got to let it go. Let it go. This is what we have to say. Come on! I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life and my heart wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. You know there's no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. You know I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. There's no more struggle, no more strife. With my face I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Seaside. You know there's no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
Hey, our affirmation is, I am receptive to the bountiful blessings of Spirit. Together, I am receptive to the bountiful blessings of Spirit. Again, I am receptive to the bountiful blessings of Spirit. Touch your heart and say it again. I am receptive to the bountiful blessings of Spirit. And our song of grace.
Living in love, living in peace, I'm living my life, what I believe, through joys and through fears, in this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, well it shines on us all, we are living in grace, we are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.
Come on up for prayer. We're here for you.